remembered that on your evaluation.
We are
how
recording.
cooperative you are. All right, let's get started. Okay, this is the Suamico Village Board meeting for Monday, October 21st, 2024. The time is 6 p.m. Just a reminder, anyone who wishes to speak, come forward, provide your name and address. Speak into the microphone as this is being recorded and this is being broadcast. Broadcast isn't the right word. Shared.
Sure. Broadcast.
Shared on Facebook. Okay, so with that all being said, I've called the meeting to order. There we go. I would look for a motion to approve the evening's agenda.
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Trustee Eckert has provided a motion to approve the evening's agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
And we have a second from Trustee Andrews. Excellent. All right. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And those opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Let's stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Okay, item number 5 this evening, public appearances. So this is the opportunity for anybody in the audience to come forward to speak to an item not on the agenda. If you're here for an item on the agenda, you will be given the opportunity, provided the board is commiserate with that, to come forward and speak on that item. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak to an item not on the evening's agenda? Now's your chance. Okay. Seeing no one, we will move on to item number 6. Item number 6 this evening is the consent agenda. That consists of the previous minutes of the village board meeting dated October 21st, 2024 and November 11th, 2024. October 2024 recreation report, October 2024 municipal court report, September and October 2024 treasurer's report, September 2024 animal control report, and item F, the 2024 presidential election recap memo. Are there questions or discussion on the consent agenda?
I want to ask Chief, on page 3 of the first check register, September 5th, $6,000 repair, what happened there?
Can you go to it? Which, right here?
Page 3, yeah.
That was one of our firemen had accidentally ran into one of our doors, so it was an insurance claim.
Okay.
Isn't there pillars?
Yeah, it was the glass doors ran right into that, so missed the pillars right in the door.
Okay.
How did the truck fare?
We were able to fix it in-house, so we didn't send it out at all. So just the door needed to be fixed.
You said that was an insurance claim?
Correct, yeah.
So the $6,060, is that a deductible?
I believe Michelle could probably answer that. I think it's a,
So the repair itself was paid to overhead door, and then we were reimbursed by the insurance company.
Okay.
Minus the deductible.
Got it, okay. And that's elsewhere in here, the increase or the reimbursement?
The reimbursement would come through, not on this report.
Next one,
Well,
or sometime down the road?
no, because these are,
This is just checks.
Okay,
right, and so that would be an incoming, not out.
gotcha.
Okay. Other questions?
Did you? Oh, okay. No,
right.
good.
All
Motion
right.
to approve unless somebody has something.
Motion from Trustee Eckert to approve the consent agenda. Second?
second.
Second from Trustee Stevens. Excellent. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. All right. Item 7A, administrative items. Ordinance 2024-13, amending Chapter 11.23, appeal of dangerous, potentially dangerous dog determination. Administrator Kaker.
Thank you. So at a previous board meeting, the board expressed a desire for any dangerous dog determinations, that appeal process to go through the Public Health and Safety Committee instead of the village board. And this ordinance would adhere to that desire. Tonight is only a first reading for the ordinance, so it would come back at the first meeting in December for action. Are there any questions on this?
I have a couple. So, of all of our ordinances, how many ordinances do we have an appeal process? Roughly? Not
No
all
clue.
of them, right? Like, we have many ordinances. Now, one thing I learned by going through this experience was that a resident could appeal to the court for this. Like if I'm envisioning this as though I was caught speeding. And I don't come to a village board to say that the speed limit was wrong in that road to try to get out of that ticket, or to, to argue the ticket. I may come to the board and say, hey, that speed limit's wrong at this road. But the ticket is between me and the judge. So I'm wondering whether we have any need for an appeal process to the board or to a committee. Because one of the things I recognized when we were going through this process is that the process of appealing to the board actually put the resident at risk, if I remember correctly, and feel free to, if anyone remembers this differently, at risk of being able to then get to the circuit court in time, or the court in time, in order to address the issue. That's how I remember it. And I could be wrong. If you remember it any differently, that's fine. So I'm thinking we don't even have an appeal process for this. That it just goes to the court, because the court would be where the resident would plead their case. That's my input.
I was originally against it, and I still am, because I think we're just kind of pushing this off to a committee. I think it should be our job before it should be the committee's. And you would argue that the committee would be a better one to determine that, but we're already, we have to trust our officer too, our animal control officer, and it seems to me he would be the expert. So usually we'd go by what he said unless the people could prove otherwise. But I'm interested by what you say as well. Why are they even coming to us at all?
It's an
That
ordinance.
does
Yeah.
just go straight to circuit court? I mean, does it have to? Is there,
I think there's one other community that I'm aware of in Brown County where they do not have an appeal process through the municipality. All the other municipalities have an appeal process through their community. So we would not be unique if we just got rid of the appeal process.
Well, I'm just wondering why we have an appeal process when we have other ordinances. Like
I don't think we
violate
should
the-
give it to the committee, but I would be
agree.
okay with what you're saying.
So one other example of an appeal process would be your sex offender residency appeal. That goes through the Public Health and Safety Committee.
Yeah, I understand that's a little different, to me, and the way I look at things, but I compare this more along the lines of a noise ordinance violation.
Well, it's not a municipal violation that would go through the judge, the municipal judge. This is a decision of an appointed official that you are appealing their decision.
Okay,
So that's why it doesn't go through the judge.
I see.
So if it went to the court system, does the animal control officer still go to court to
That'd be my
represent
understanding.
his findings?
Right.
Do they ever make it to circuit court? Is it often, or don't you know?
In the 5 years I've been here, I haven't seen that appeal go to the court.
I've never seen one go to the court, and I think since I've been here, 2010 roughly? Since I've been here, 2010, I think we've had 3 cases,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, don't get me wrong, they're awful, but I think we should be the ones sucking up doing it. If we were to have it at all.
I think the idea for why we would have it in-house is it's a little bit easier for the resident to make that appeal. I mean, going through circuit court, you've pretty much got to hire an attorney and you're going through a legal procedure, whereas this is a little bit more informal for the resident to go through.
So if it went to the court system, the village would have to represent, or an attorney would have to be there?
We would, yeah.
Oh, well, that's different.
Yeah, see the difference now, too.
So I think it should go to the Health and Safety Committee. Because then that's extra money that we're spending.
I think we should keep it.
I think it belongs, I think it belongs in public health and safety, just because those are the experts in public health and safety. We are not experts. And every case of the 3 that we've had, and Trustee Eckert, you'll remember this, all of these, many of you will.
Yeah.
Every one of these cases that's come before this board as an appeal has been arduous. And it's not about moving it to public health and safety, because we do tough things on this board all the time. The reason it's being moved to public health and safety is because they're the experts. They're used to looking at the evidence and dealing with this from a non-emotional standpoint. You'll remember, all of you who are here will remember, that when we've had cases recently, the last one before this, it became a very emotional issue. And there were trustees who were on, not sitting here today, but who were on this board at that time, who became personally involved. And that personal involvement is not a good thing. Not a good
That's,
thing.
and you should not do that.
Right,
And
right.
You should not do that, but I mean, your expert is your animal control officer. You already have that expert in place.
And he is the one who's making the call, but if there's an
Yeah.
appeal, what is, let me ask you this. So hypothetically, we as a board, let's say we're going to keep this. Let me ask you this. What is the basis for us, the knowledge basis? What are the tools that we have to be able to make that decision rather than police officers and
That would completely vary on the individual, as it would in that committee.
but I mean as a board, as a, I guess I'm not making.
I mean, if they present their case where you could go the other way, otherwise you should go with your animal control officer. You should go along with it, no matter how hard it is. You should go along with what he says unless they prove otherwise. That's not simple. It's horrible, but
And you're
that's why I
absolutely,
voted against it.
you're absolutely right, Trustee Eckert, but sometimes at the board level, you can have an animal lover, and they just feel it just doesn't, they don't want it to go that way. You know, they side with another chance, kind of a thing. And that's why at the
You can't think that way,
health and, but some people do.
but you
We're at-
can't.
We're at the Health and Safety Committee, their job is to just stay with the facts.
They have emotions too. I mean, I just disagree with it. That's all.
Other comments?
So can I ask a question for you, President Van Rossum? So when there's a sex offender comes into the situation, they have a hearing at that board? Is it a special hearing?
Yes.
Okay, so would we be looking at this as the Public Health and Safety having a special hearing? The reason I ask the question is it still lingers in my mind. They were up against a timeline to take it to court, and we were in the middle of that. And in order for us to look back another month to deal with the issue that we just saw, that it would risk them not being able to take it to court. That's how I remember it. So would the Public Health and Safety, as you would envision this, treat this very much like the sex offender?
It would just go on the public health and safety agenda, just like
Just a standard
the sex offender issue goes on an agenda as well.
Oh, so it isn't a special meeting?
No, it's not a
Oh,
special.
okay, all right. So it'd be a monthly meeting then? So a person could have to wait 30 days
Mm-hmm.
potentially in order. What is,
And just to
Yeah.
clarify that too, so the
Yeah,
30
please do.
day, the 30 days that you have to appeal to the circuit court is from the final determination or the final decision. So after that appeal meeting, if there's a determination that you're going to uphold that decision, they then have 30 days to file
Okay.
with circuit court.
so was it because we put like a contingency on it? Like if you do this?
It made it a little stickier. Yes.
Okay, all right. So they have 30 days regardless of whoever
From
decides.
the final decision
Yeah, okay.
of the village.
Okay, I feel, thank you. That throws a,
Wouldn't the resident have the ability to go to court regardless?
You can always take action. against the village.
There's a lawyer out there waiting.
Yeah, but if they appeal to the board's motions and the board caves, then they'll never have to go to court if they can switch it around on them.
and it's cheaper. We just found that out
Sure.
today in today's meeting too. I don't know how much cheaper, I don't know what it costed.
Well, the hourly rate for a lawyer, right?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I've been fortunate.
I think it's $150 an hour, yeah, right.
I know it's surprising right now, what?
All right, well, are there other comments on this? This is a first reading, so there was a couple of things that were brought up here. You know, on one hand, it was brought up, you know, trustee Eckert's not in favor of this. So the two things that I'd like to clarify before we put any more work on staff is the majority of the board still in favor of moving forward with this?
I am.
Nod or,
Yeah, I feel like it's okay, because they already have a responsibility that's even more serious than this.
so then the next question I have, is the majority of the board still, or does the majority of the board have any interest in just completely doing away with the appeal process for this at all? Or we're going to move along with this
I'm
second
gonna
reading?
back off on that. I
Okay.
didn't consider the fact that there would be legal fees involved, et cetera.
Okay, then we will look forward to the next second reading. Anyone else with any last comments? None? Okay. So we are off to item 8. Item 8A, Resolution 24014, thanking John Henry and Vickery Village for the generous donation. Chief Bertler.
Yes, thank you. Before we use the resolution, thanking John Henry and Vickery Village for their generous donation of $1,250 to the Suamico Fire Department. This donation is proceeds from the Beer Belly Run that was about a month ago. John is not able to make it tonight, but wants to thank the board for this resolution as well. So I'm just to pass in the resolution.
Can you elaborate a little bit on the beer belly?
Sure. So Steve and Michelle might know a little more history than me.
Steve, probably a lot.
Yeah, Steve probably, but, so the Beer Belly used to be a pretty big run back in the day, from what I gather. And John wanted to kind of resurrect it. So this is the first year they had it, kind of resurrected it, and I think they had 125 runners, I think, this time. I don't know the exact count, but they're expecting 100, had over that, so looking to do bigger and better things next year as well. So, and he said this is going to be a continuous donation every year to the fire department, so I want to thank him.
Great.
Cool.
Yeah, I know, years back, it was a big event.
I was too young then.
Do you have to run? I mean, okay.
All right.
I walked it.
Anything else? We need, so we need to do a, no,
Just a motion.
So I would offer a motion to approve the resolution 24014, thanking John Henry and Vickery Village for their generous donation to the Suamico Fire Department. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second from trustee Romas. Any other further questions or comments? Hearing none, let's do a roll call for official purposes.
Trustee Andrews.
Aye.
Trustee Eckert.
Aye.
Trustee Neto.
Aye.
Trustee Gomez.
Aye.
Trustee McKeefery.
Aye.
Trustee Stevens.
Aye.
President Van Rossum.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously, 7-0.
Excellent. All right. Item number 9, discussion on future agenda items. Anyone?
I don't know if this is an agenda, I'm just curious, Andy's not here, but with snow coming up, I'm just curious, how are they gonna remove the snow on Lineville with that 8-foot-high pile of dirt.
That's
there,
the
Ron.
county's problem.
Yeah.
It's going to be very messy.
That's music to my ears.
I'll be happy to get an answer for you on what the plan is.
It's going to be very messy when that snow kind of starts to melt off
Oh,
of
yeah.
that, and it's
Oh, yeah.
going to be muddy all the time.
We've got enough problems to worry about.
Yeah, okay. Anything else? All right,
You like those easy ones? Then, yeah.
just keep that in mind, it's the county's problem. All right. Item 10, closed session. So Wisconsin statute 19.85, parent 1, parent E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. This evening in closed session, we will be entertaining fire apparatus proposals. Is there a motion to go into closed session? I'll offer that motion to move into closed session. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second from trustee McKeefrey. Any other further questions or discussion on this item? All those in favor?
I can take a roll call.
Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Eckert.
Aye.
Trustee Neto.
Aye.
Trustee Gomez.
Aye.
Trustee McKeefrey.
Aye.
Trustee Stevens.
Aye.
Trustee Andrews.
Aye.
President Van Rossum.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously, 7-0.
All right. So we are going to move into closed session, and I'll be leaving my ego out here.
I was going to say roll call vote. I didn't want you to say
No,
it.
that's all
The
right.
village was going to charge you for it.
I'm getting used to roll call vote.
May as well just do it every time.
When you need to be corrected, you need to be corrected.
What were you corrected on?
I forgot.
I
it was a roll
object.
call vote.
I object. Why wasn't the defense
But I've got,
reason this
I've got Michelle who's in charge. She never
Pretty
lets me forget a
small in
roll
the
call
grand
vote.
scheme of things.
She never lets me forget a roll call vote.
This is where you say, but I just received this today, so I didn't have time
Thank
to.
you.
Yeah. I'm watching Lincoln Lawyer.
Oh, you are?
Pretty good show.
Oh,
So this really wasn't
Holy smokes, look at here we are.
yep.
All right, this has been an incredibly efficient meeting. I hope it doesn't end here.
I hope not either.
For what?
Go back in
Yes.
open
Okay,
session.
okay.
Trustee Neto.
Aye.
Trustee Gomez.
Aye.
Trustee McKeefrey.
Aye.
Trustee Stevens.
Aye.
Trustee Andrews.
Aye.
Trustee Eckert.
Aye.
President Van Rossum.
Aye,
Motion carries unanimously, 7-0.
excellent. We are back in open session. So, following our discussions, so I would offer a motion that we go with the quote for refurbishment from Pierce Manufacturing in a dollar amount not to exceed $287,632 for the refurbishment of 2 tenders.
I'll second.
Did I get that right? Did I get enough of that?
A friendly amendment would be to use funds from the equipment replacement reserve fund. I know our auditors like to see that on the
Okay.
motions.
It was implied.
So adding to that, that we use funds from our equipment replacement fund.
I still second,
All right, so.
because I knew
I-
that's what you meant.
Yes, I have offered the motion. Trustee Romas has seconded that motion. Are there any other questions or discussion on this item? Roll call, please.
Trustee Gomez.
Aye.
Trustee McKeefrey.
Aye.
Trustee Stevens.
Aye.
Trustee Andrews.
Aye.
Trustee Eckert.
Aye.
Trustee Neto.
Aye.
President Van Rossum.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously, 7-0.
Thank you.
Excellent.
You gotta
You guys are gonna have almost new fire trucks. At least you'll be used to them. You'll have them broke in.
Yeah,
That's right.
the seats will be comfortable.
All right. Anything else? Otherwise, I would accept a motion to adjourn this evening's session.
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
Thank you. So trustee McKeefrey has offered the motion to adjourn this evening's meeting, and that has been seconded by trustee Romas. Any other further questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed. All right, we are out.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
You just couldn't help it. Good job.
Well,
Scared me. Scared me.
I blame Romas.